Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Octopunk Weekly Update and Fan Art of the Week for June 8th, the second week of Pride. Hello everybody, welcome. I hope you're having a great time Zen, no matter where you are. We settle in, we have a lot to talk about today, especially concerning Saturday's charity stream. I have a whole schedule and lots of information about that, in addition to the guests that I announced last week. So we will definitely get to that in a bit. See a lot of familiar faces in the chat today, and thank you, Queen James, for cheering 100 bits. My overlay now actually has GIFs enabled for normal bits and sub emotes and all that sort of stuff. There we go. Jan Janine just subscribed and got a Michael Smallwood Chris Miller gift. That's awesome. They're all themed of Octopunk and Detroit Evolution. They're not thirsty Norman Jaded anymore. So yeah, thank you for testing out that system, Jan. Yeah, no more shirtless Namen. It's not heavy rain anymore. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, we're just going with our own gift sets now today. In addition to all the charity stream stuff to talk about today, we'll also be talking about what's coming up this week on Patreon and giving you a sneak peek at one of the things that's coming to Patreon this week, which is the second episode of the table read. All patrons, $1 and up, so all patrons get access to weekly episodes of the table read, and then YouTube will start getting it this week on Wednesday as well, a week behind Patreon. And so hopefully that'll tempt you guys to come over to Patreon, because the table read is a lot of fun. Oh, I see John Hale's in the chat and cheering some bits as well. John gave me some great advice today about authoring those Detroit Evolution Blu Rays, which we'll have a little bit more information on later for those who've been waiting on that. Oh, and Riven Red Paladin cheering some bits and getting some Read 900 as well. All right, so speaking of Patreon, this week there's a couple things to address. So first of all, last week I talked about how the Jillian postcards were capped. They were sold out at the time. I wanted to make sure that I didn't oversell them. Indeed, I did not oversell them. I ended up having some left over. And hello, Sarah Bear. Welcome to the first stream. This is a really good one to join. We got a lot to talk to about today. So this is her postcard. It's a beautiful queer Australia design. And basically, I was able to open up, I think, 6 new slots on Patreon. And 2 people have already taken me up on it. But there's 2 more spaces for $10. There's one for $25, and then there's one for $50. Those are the tiers that are currently open that could get you a Jillian Geurts postcard. So if you've been eyeing that postcard and you would like to have Jill's autograph and that unique postcard, head on over to patreon.com/octopunkmedia and jump on one of the 4 open slots that we currently have. And, you know, it's one of those things of I wanted to give the variety. I know a lot of people are interested in the $25 and $50 tiers. But if you only have the $50 tier open and you can't afford it and you maybe want to go lower, send me a message. We might be able to work with you on switching it around. I just wanted to offer the variety up front. And this is what I get for drinking soda on a stream. I'm full of bubbles. But yeah, so go over to Patreon and check that out if you have been eyeing Jill's card, because they will run out, I'm sure, by the end of the day. So to jump on it if you're interested. As far as other things we have coming up on Patreon this week, as I said, the cast table read episode 2 is coming on Wednesday. That's another 20-minute episode, which is really dope. And then on Friday, we have a video mainly featuring Michael Smallwood, Maximilian Koger, and Austin, I believe, about From Detroit Awakening to Detroit Evolution, kind of the upgrade in scale, what was the difference on set between the two, and kind of how we felt about the progress that we had made from Detroit Awakening to Detroit Evolution. So that's basically more stuff from the interviews that Justin Moskos did on set, and that was one of the questions that was asked. So you'll be able to check that out on Friday. And as far as the table read goes, I can go ahead and show you the little preview of what we have coming on Wednesday for $1 patrons. This will be coming on YouTube next week for everybody else, so don't worry if you're not a patron. The table read will come to YouTube in time. But this is one out of the 20 minutes of what you will be seeing on Wednesday. Detroit Street Dark Alley.
9s?
I fucking hate you.
9s!
For art, that.
Yeah.
In your line.
Gavin.
Where's Ada? What the hell happened to you?
Don't know what she did. Everything is.
Stay with me. Stay with me, you asshole.
Excuse me, I don't want to
Detroit
say.
become a human fan film, not a heavy rain.
Oh, yeah.
Jason!
We need some help over here. Somebody call 911.
I can't stay. Oh.
No. No, you don't fall asleep. You don't leave me.
So sleepy.
You fight this
Had
9.
so many freaking
Nervous
cocktails.
laughter. Ha 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 ha. Come on.
So yeah, there's 20 minutes of that and more to come for the table read. For those who don't know what the table read is, who maybe aren't on Patreon yet, haven't been following this, this is our table read from the night before we shot Detroit Evolution. So all of the cast came over to the house and we did a read through of the script. We ate pizza and stuff, and or we ate carrabba's rather. And we read through the script, and it started off as a normal table read and eventually descended into chaos. And any of our patrons who have already watched the first episode can tell you that they're all complete trolls, and it took about 5 minutes for them to completely descend into madness. So, so yes, we have the first 20 minutes coming to YouTube on Wednesday, and then it'll be a week behind on YouTube for Patreon. So speaking of YouTube, though, we also have another Austin soundtrack piece coming up on Thursday, as I've missed the past couple of weeks, but we're going to get back on that. And patrons last week got the 3rd gag reel for Detroit Evolution, and you guys will be getting this on Friday on YouTube. This is like a 4-minute long gag reel. There was a lot to unpack in this one, which is a lot of fun. So look forward to that on YouTube this Friday. As far as Twitch goes, I want to announce a change to our schedule this week, because originally on Thursday we were going to do Dead by Daylight, but Lemonhead Greg, who's going to join us for that, had a scheduling conflict, so he had something come up with work where he can't do it on Thursday with us. We're going to postpone Dead by Daylight to next Thursday instead, and this Thursday we're going to switch it up and do games from the Racial Justice Charity bundle instead. If you don't know what this is, on itch.io currently, there is a charity bundle of 742 different games, books, game assets, a lot of really awesome stuff on this site. And the minimum donation is $5. It's an absolute steal, and all of the money goes to Community Bail Fund and the NAACP Legal Fund. So it's for a great cause. I highly recommend going and Googling this and getting it for yourself, because it's just, you really can't beat it. As some people in the chat are saying, Night in the Woods, Oxenfree, One Shot, they are all included in this bundle, and they're worth, $20, $30 themselves, in addition to the many, many other games that are included here. I can tell you I'm not going to be playing Night in the Woods or Oxenfree this Thursday, because they're kind of on the long side. I'm going to take some of the games from there that are lesser known and maybe like 15, 20, 30-minute games, and I'm going to be doing those. I'm going to be doing the shorter stuff. It'll be a variety stream of a lot of different samplings from that pack, because I really want to dive in and see some games that I've never seen before and that I wouldn't normally play. There's also a lot of queer games in that bundle as well, so a lot of them will probably be really gay. Doyle Winchester says Archangel Dating Simulator. That might be one that I pick. That sounds really fun. So yeah, it is $3,300 worth of games, direct download, no DRM. It's awesome. So join us on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll be going through a few games from that stream. If you have any recommendations of things that we should play from that stream that are under 40 minutes or so in that bundle, definitely hit me up on Twitter, hit Austin up on Twitter at AustinBytes or at Lady Tuano, and we'd love to hear your recommendations, because there's 700-something games in this thing, so I'm not going to have time to vet all of them. The recommendations are going to rise to the top for sure. But I won't be announcing what we're actually going to be playing specifically, specifically until we get to the stream. So it'll be a surprise. Like, you guys got to show up to figure out which ones we're actually going to sample and play. As far as the rest of the week on Twitch goes, you're in Octopunk Weekly Update right now on Monday. Tomorrow we're going to be continuing The Last of Us, episode 2. I had to bail on that last week because I wasn't feeling great, but this week I'm ready to return to it. And then on Saturday, of course, we have our charity stream for GaymerX with Geurts, Michael James Daly, Shannon, Strucci, JJ, Goller, Bev Tan, Michael Smallwood, and more. So that'll be 7 hours all day on Saturday Eastern Time. Speaking, though, of the charity stream. So you guys know that this is coming up on Saturday. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. We have a lot of really cool guests and activities lined up. And the first thing I want to talk about is the actual specific schedule of who's going to be on at what time. So if there's something in particular you're looking for in the stream, you can reserve this time slot for it. So we're going to kick off the stream with Cards Against Detroit Evolution, which will be me, Austin, Michael Smallwood, and JJ at minimum. Might have a couple mods join us for that, or a couple other cast members, not sure yet. But it'll be at least us four for the first couple hours as we get settled into the stream, and we kind of take stock of where everything's coming in, keep everybody updated on things. From 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, Shannon Strucci is going to be joining us for a Q&A. Shannon is one of the actors from Seven Deadly Sins, so we'll be talking a little bit about that. Shannon also knows a lot about queer gaming, so we can talk a little bit about that. You can also follow Shannon at Strucci Movies on YouTube. Check out some of Shannon's previous work on parasocial relationships, film, other video essays. You can come and bring questions about that as well. And we will be playing their 15-minute game, Small's Island Woes, as well. This is a creepy eldritch horror game that I think Shannon did the art for, and I think the programmer David is going to be joining us for that portion as well. So we'll be doing a little demo of that game too. So if you like creepy eldritchy horror stuff about taking care of a lighthouse, this is a 15-minute playthrough of that with the developers of that game. From 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, Michael James Daly, one of the gay actors from Detroit Evolution, is going to come and do a Q&A about his career, not only in Detroit Evolution, but also in 20 years of Hollywood. He might spill some tea on some people you've heard of. I'm not sure what he wants to reveal yet, but we might have some fun stories to tell there. From 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, queer filmmaker Bev Tan is going to be doing a live writing demo, which is similar to her own stream that she does. She's got a Twitch channel now that she'll be promoting, and we'll be doing some live writing and improv writing and stuff right on the stream. And finally, from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., Geurts, who is Ada from Detroit Evolution, will be here for a Q&A of her own. From the last hour, we're going to just be doing open gaming, just hanging out and catching up on whatever we have left in the stream, because there's going to be some stuff that might happen on the stream depending upon what milestones we meet with our fundraising goals. And so we'll have to use that last hour to catch up on anything like that. Now, speaking of those milestones, now I can talk about what our actual goals for fundraising are in this stream and what we're going to do with every goal that we may hit. I would love on this stream to get $2,000 to send to GaymerX. That's my overall goal. I think it's realistic. I think we can do it. But I do have some milestones and some stretch goals to talk about that might interest you along the way. When we raise our first $500, the thing that I will do is I will reveal the name of the Read 900 fanfic that I wrote in 2008. Now, some of you know about this lore, and some of you might not. But basically, I've been in Read 900 fandom for 2 years now. And before I was the Michelle you know, I had a username on Tumblr and on AO3. And you guys don't know what it is. And I wrote a Read 900 fic in 2018. That's the time scale that I'll give you. And I've never revealed what it is. I've held that real close to the chest. But with our first $500 that we raise in the stream, I will tell you what that fic is. So that's going to be our first milestone, is you guys will be able to figure out what I wrote back before Detroit Awakening was even an idea. And chances are a lot of you have probably already read it, because it actually did pretty well. As well as, if we raise $1,000, I'll do a live reading of it on the stream. That's what that last hour is, the 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We will do a live reading of that. Probably just me, maybe Austin too. But yeah, we'll do a live reading of this fanfic actually on the stream. I think an hour should be enough. It's not that long, so like I should be able to fit it in the end. But that'll be the first 1,000. So when we meet our goal of 2,000, all donors who donate at least 25 will get a limited edition bonus sticker for supporting the charity stream. I'll be doing a sticker design that's specific for this charity stream, and the only way you can get that sticker is by donating at least $25. So that's if we meet our goal, then everybody over 25 gets a sticker. And then we have some stretch goals. If we raise $5,000, all donors 25 and up will get a personalized video thank you from one of the guests on the stream. Could be me, could be Michael James Daly, could be Jill, could be JJ. We'll get those to you if we raise at least 5,000. And finally, if we raise $10,000, I will shave the side of my head. I know that sounds crazy, but it wouldn't look that bad, I don't think. I've been thinking about doing it anyway, and if I'm going to do it, I may as well raise $10,000 for a really good cause. So that's awfully like a lot of money to raise. I don't know if we're going to get to $10,000, but I'm willing to do it if we do. So those are some individual milestones that will happen if we, as a group, raise that much money for GaymerX on Saturday. You can figure out my Read 900 fix. We'll do some personalized thank yous. You might get a custom sticker, or I might end up shaving half of my head. We'll see. Austin says that he can do it. He's got the clippers. He's done it to himself, and it looks pretty good. Oh, God, what does Octomom have to say about this? Octomom has worry. Okay, no, it's not like I'm shaving half of my head off. It's like you do a little, like, side shave, and you do the little flippy thing. You can cover it if it looks bad. But it's a look. I'll post it on Twitter what I'm thinking. It's pretty cool. It's very punk. Hey, I'm stuck inside. There's no better time to do it, right? Like Zoe. I don't know. Yeah, like Zoe, our Zoe that we know in real life? Yeah, maybe. I don't know what her hair is doing right now. So, sure, Mom. I don't know. Undercut. That's basically what it's called. But that's not all. There's more stuff to earn on the charity stream. Not just stuff that we'll be doing for milestones, but stuff that you can get by donating at certain amounts. So what is that? Everybody who donates at least $25 will receive a thank you card in the mail and some stickers and postcards from me, Shannon, and Critical Bits, which is a podcast that Shannon participates in. It's very queer, it's very D&D, it's very awesome. We're just going to have a little bit of swag that we'll send people in the mail if they donate at least $25. Here's the coup de grace. Everyone who donates $100 or more will receive a Detroit Evolution Blu Ray. I have been asked about this for months because back when we did producer awards in December and back in 2019, anybody who donated a certain amount and got co-producer status got a Blu-ray, and only 15 people, I think, reached that goal. Or, well, I guess it was more than 15, because when you count everything over, I think it was like 20. But a lot of people were not with us. A lot of you guys didn't know us back then. So I've gotten a lot of questions about, I missed the window, how do I get a Blu-ray? We cannot sell them because we don't own the intellectual property. We cannot put them up on a merch store and sell them traditionally. On top of the fact that the people who did donate originally to become producers to get that reward had to donate quite a lot. So I figured the best way to get Blu-rays in y'all's hands while also being able to do it for a good cause, to honor the producers who donated a lot before, and to also not get into any legal trouble, is to do it for charity. So anybody who donates over $100 will get a Blu-ray in the mail. And the only caveat to that, and this is at the bottom of this slide, is that I can't pay for the shipping on it. But the shipping probably won't be that bad. If you're in America, it'll probably be between $3 and $5. If you're international, it'll probably be about $13. So it's not cost prohibitive or crazy or anything. It's just if I end up like if we end up having like 100 people do this, I'm already having to pay to manufacture the Blu-rays, which is several $100s, and I'm okay with that. But shipping could end up being like $1,300 for me. So I'm just like, oh, okay, I can't cover shipping for the Blu-rays, but if everybody who donates pitches in for their own shipping prizes, then it'll be distributed evenly, and it won't cost anybody too much. So if you do have like, between $5-13 to cover the shipping, that'd be great. But there's a little bit more. So the first 35 people who donate $250 or more will receive, in addition to the Blu-ray, random selection of 3 prior Patreon cards autographed by the Detroit Evolution cast and crew. I have a lot of Patreon postcards from last June to now that are left over that I don't want to sell again because they were exclusive to patrons and you could only get them through Patreon. But I am willing to give them to donors for this. So it's basically just a random selection of 3 Patreon postcards that I have in reserve. Some of them actually a lot of them from 2019. So again, if you haven't been a patron until 2020, it's all ones that you don't have yet. So that would be for the first 35 people who donate $250 at least. Now, the reason that's limited is because I do have a limited supply of these left over, but I can cover at least 35 people. The first 5 people who donate $375 or more will receive a Detroit Evolution screenplay signed by Maximilian, Chris, Michael, Jillian, and Carla. I only have 5 of these. So that would be limited to the first 5 people who donate $375. They will also receive the Patreon postcards and the Blu-ray. And finally, the first people who donate $500 or more will receive a screen-used prop or costume piece from Detroit Evolution or Detroit Awakening, in addition to all of the things prior. So this is our thank you gifts for donors coming on the charity stream. You have a chance to get a lot of really cool Detroit Evolution stuff. Midnight Courts. If you pay for higher tiers, do they also qualify for the prices underneath lower tiers? So all these donations are cumulative. So whatever you get, if you get the screen used prop, you're also going to get the script, the postcards, the thank you card, and the Blu-ray. You get everything underneath of it. The only thing that gets a little funky is if we have 5 people who donate $500 right out the gate, then that 375 tier has to go away because it is cumulative. So I might not necessarily have, if once those 5 Detroit Evolution scripts are gone by any means, they are gone. And once those 5 screen-used props or costume pieces are gone, they are gone. So those final 2 tiers have the potential to kind of have crossover early on. But I don't think we should run out of anything underneath that. I mean, 35 people at $250 is crazy. Like, I don't think we're going to run out of that. And then the Blu-rays is just unlimited because I have a pretty, a standard minimum order that I have to buy of those anyway, which far surpasses what I actually need for producers. So I'm just going to buy as many Blu-rays as you guys want to donate for. If 100 people get them, then we'll get 100 Blu-rays. I'm not going to cap that because it's, you basically have to buy at least 100 Blu-rays. Not you guys, but I have to buy at least 100 Blu-rays from the manufacturer in order to get them because it's a minimum order thing. So I'm not putting a cap on that or anything, or the 25 either. I'll send as many thank you cards and stickers as I need to because, if 1,000 people want to donate, I'll send 1,000 letters. I don't care. It's for charity. So yeah, that's everything coming on Saturday. Let me know if you have any questions before I end the stream on the charity stuff so I can answer them now. Hopefully that covers everything though. So we've got the cumulative milestones, which I talked about before, and then we have the individual prizes that you can get for your individual donation. So if you as an individual donate $100, you as an individual will get a Blu-ray. If somebody else donates $100, they get a Blu-ray. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. It's not like somebody donates $100 and everybody gets a Blu-ray. It's what your individual donation is based off of, is what you get in prizes. And yes, as Pillowcat says, remember, there is no pressure to donate. Please take care of yourself first. I know that times are very tough right now. And I also know that there's a lot of charity stuff going on for Black Lives Matter, for the NAACP Legal Fund, many other things. We've been encouraging donations to many of those funds as well. So, you know, I know that it's been a very charitable month already, and Pride on top of it. So if you are already tapped, just come out, have a good time with us. Come bring your questions for Jill and Michael and Shannon and everybody else in the stream. Or even just lurk if you want to. Have a good, fun, light Saturday and enjoy raising some money for a good cause with us. It's definitely no pressure at all. Zach Hanna says, how are the donations going to be processed? Through PayPal, question mark. So the way that this is going to work is the donations do not go through me at all. They go straight to GaymerX through a platform called Tiltify. The way it's going to work is there's going to be a little extension underneath here on Twitch, a little box that has a link to our Tiltify campaign for GaymerX, and you basically just go to that box and you are able to donate directly to the campaign, which goes to GaymerX. Tiltify might take some kind of cut the way like Kickstarter would, but it doesn't go through me. It's not like it's going to be processed as a personal donation or anything, so you know that it's going to go to the charity. The other thing about that is I do not know what payment methods they accept. I'll have to check on that and maybe post something on Twitter and get back to you guys. I'm sure they take credit card and debit card. They very well may take PayPal as well. But you can check what Tiltify, the platform, accepts, because that will be what we are going through. And yeah, so Tiltify does have PayPal. Awesome. So that's very good to know. So if you have PayPal, like a PayPal balance or something like that, you'll be able to donate really quickly without having to whip out your credit card. So that's super, super dope. I think there's not anything else about that. We will have, the other thing about Tiltify is that we have like extensions and stuff that's going to be on screen, so we'll be able to track donations of the stream on screen. If you donate, we'll probably have a leaderboard that's going to be on the stream the whole time as well. I'm going to try to enable all of that I can. Yeah, so that'll be also kind of an incentive, is that you might be on a leaderboard for donations or something like that, so everybody will be able to bow down to your generosity. Or just be very, very jealous of Blu-rays. If there's no more questions, or if there are, just continue to put them in the chat and I will get to them. Oh, I was wondering, yes, so Miss Arthur Becca, yes, that's how we're going to be able to track everybody's individual donations, is through the leaderboard and also through Tiltify. Tiltify is going to keep track of all of that. So just use your actual username, that you use your Twitch username when you sign into Tiltify if you can, just so I know that it's you. But I'll be following up with everybody through the Tiltify app to be able to deliver rewards. All right, so other than that, let's go on to fan art of the week. And like I said, you can just throw in any questions about the charity stream in the chat right now. Mods will answer it if they can, and if not, I'll try to address it before the end here. First up, we got this awesome Lotso art from Tinder Togruta on Twitter. Lotso looking fabulous from one of our gag reels. This was an absolute labor of love, I know, from Z3 Rain. This Happy Pride banner featuring all of the various characters from Detroit Evolution with their various flags. I absolutely adore this. I know they were working on this for a really long time, because I think they asked me about this back in April or May, about all the different flags of all the different characters and what would be appropriate. And so I think they worked on this for like a month. So really awesome. And yes, Ada has two flags, both Arrow and Sapphic. So that one's really awesome. And I too love all of the poses. I think they said it was inspired by Whitney Houston. But definitely check out their Twitter and Instagram as well to see the full set in all of its close-up glory. This was another one that I know was a long time labor of love from Levi Onek on Twitter. This is a cell phone wallpaper inspired by Detroit Evolution. I absolutely adore this. I very nearly made it my own or cell phone wallpaper. I'm very attached to the one that I have right now, so I didn't, but it may very well become it in a couple of weeks because this is fantastic. I just love the differences between the two Gavins. I really can't get over that. And there's also a dark version of this as well, one with a black background. So check that out on their Twitter and you can download both of them for yourself. We got more Pride drawings of the Detroit Evolution 4. This from Syria Miggs on Instagram. I love this. There's been a lot of Pride art this week of our Detroit Evolution cast and crew, which is really, really sweet. I mean, I could give a whole stream just on all of it. Definitely check out the Detroit Evolution tag on Instagram and you can see all of the various options. Here we go, Lone Lion 924 back on Fan Art of the Week with a really, really fantastic POV shot of Nines. The interesting thing about this one to me is because when I really, early on, when I was imagining the trailer for Detroit Evolution, I had in mind that he would be surrounded by the red wall, that this was something that was circular, that the camera would pan around him really quickly, and we weren't able to get that shot. So I feel very much like I'm living vicariously through Lion's art here, because this captured something that I wanted in the film, but didn't get to achieve. So yes, Lion is very much a wizard. Absolutely. Go follow them on Instagram if you haven't already. A lot of the emotes that you're using right now have actually been designed by Lion, so shout out to them for that as well. This lovely pencil art of Ada is from Almison Illustra on Instagram. I always love Ada art, especially when it's hand-drawn like this. It's such talent, and I love the interpretation of Ada as like a Mary figure. I notice a lot of people do that in their art, which is really, really cool. Between the golden halos and the ripping the heart out of the chest. I've seen that a few times now and it never gets old. It's really, really, really cool. This is from ___destroy ___ on Instagram. I am always amazed at you guys being able to capture these actors so profoundly, especially by hand, and that just looks just like Maximilian. Well done, well done, and also really wonderful interpretation, alternate interpretation of the lighting for this scene. As Ixat says, it exists. Is that it? The emotions are really well captured here as well. And as always, if you see these people in the chat, if you see these artists in the chat, give them some love, because I know a few of them like to come to OPWU. More Pride art, this time from Astral Dawn, of Gavin and Nines holding their flags and looking like Disney princes, as Dawn very so often makes them look, and I never get enough of it. Every single week, I'm always in love. So go follow them on Twitter and Instagram if you haven't already. I'm sure you have by now, because I can't, I can't escape loving Dawn's art. It's just... Every time I try, and I just can't. It frustrates me at this point. It's so good. It's so fantastic every single week. Oh, Arden, don't get too salty just yet, because guess what our final fan art of the week is right this week? This cursed crap from Ardenite on Twitter. Now this is, I don't know if this is quite the cursed, the most cursed one that Arden made. This one's pretty cursed. There were a few. You need to go on Twitter and see all the different ones that Arden made. Because they just kept getting more wild, and I really don't even know how to describe some of the ones that happened, and some of the other ones that happened that other people were adding on. I know Warden Mages did at least one that was almost equally cursed. But yeah, go follow both of them on Twitter and just see what nonsense has been happening to this poor picture of Zen Gavin in the past weekend, because it's all very, very delightful and also very scary. As always, I'd like to end the stream with our P.O. Box, P.O. Box 62762, North Charleston, South Carolina. You feel free to send anything you want except food or explosives to that P.O. Box. I check it about every other week now. The last thing that I received was a couple of weeks ago, I suppose. I might be going by the end of the week sometime. Depends on what I need to do for merch. I have found that UPS will pick up merch from my house now, so I don't actually have to go to the post office. It's great. But that means that I don't check my P.O. box as much as I should. So if you have anything waiting in the mail for me to pick up, don't worry, it might be there, but I just haven't checked it in a while. Would you be able to put fan art on the Discord for this too, or Twitter, Instagram, accepted only? Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr are where I search the tags for fan art of the week. Discord, feel free to share it. I just don't go through Discord when I do fan art of the week on Monday mornings because it's just a lot of people cross-post to Discord, so I just don't. It gets very backlogged and it's difficult for me to go through. But I would recommend, if you want to be considered, Instagram, Twitter, or Tumblr, I check the Detroit Evolution hashtag. Yes, everything except food or explosives. I mean, I won't eat anything that I get in the mail. It's a paranoia thing. I think that's it for this week, if I'm not mistaken. We've covered a lot today. I'll be posting all this information about the charity stream on Twitter immediately after, so if you missed anything or you want a refresher on anything, definitely just check me on Twitter and also probably my Instagram stories and Tumblr as well, so you can keep an eye on it that there. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, for another episode of The Last of Us at noon Eastern, and I hope to also see you guys at the charity stream this weekend at noon Eastern too, because we're going to have a really, really fun time, and I hope you guys get excited and look forward to picking up some stuff or just hanging out on the stream and supporting the guests and the folks who are going to be joining us for it. As always, stay great, hydrate, and have a happy time.